Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CGL GOATS Finals here for Xbox Tier 2. I am NSB, and I'm joined again by Joker's Ransom on the mic. We've got a banger of a match between Saga Genesis and Olympus Kronos, the undefeated team taking the top seed without dropping a map.
Yeah, and this team is very good. They're a second iteration of the Big Duck Energy team coming in from the last multi-tier tournament. They've only got really one player from that team, however, but they still have two of the old players from that roster as on staff. They've got Timeline on that Reinhardt, a hockey man. Oh, is he not playing? Oh, Jaxter, I guess. On that, the starters is different from what's on my screen. So, Jaxter on that Zarya, legit Twinkie on the Diva, Icebox on the Brigitte, Student Tears on Lucio, and rounding it out with Spirit Soldier on the Zenyatta or Flex support option.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Student Tears on the Lucio because I've actually seen a couple broadcasts with them on the Moira, so if they can flex over to that Lucio as well, it will surely be great for them. I think the support line and the tank line is well rounded for this squad, and I think that that coaching staff aid from the two players of Big Duck Energy coming up strong, giving them that boost that they need to be undefeated all the way through the playoffs bracket as well. They are 12-0 on maps, I believe, if you combined their group stage standings and their playoffs match there that they just had. And they're coming into this one with all the momentum, but if we take a look at the other side of Saga Genesis, you've got a very, very large roster. They have depth in the sub line, and they also have a lot of depth in their team staff.
Well, I don't know. This isn't Saga Genesis. This is Saga CGL staff team, right? They've got Ninja and Lucy and Laura on this. Laura on the team as well. So it's pretty much the staff team, but none of the only Ninja is starting for that roster as well on that Diva, Sparheart on that Ryan, Etienne on the Zarya, Miffed Goose, Zapdos, and Can of Soup rounding out the support line. This team should be very good. I've played against a iteration of this team the last CGL GOATS tournament, and they are a very hard team to deal with.
Yeah, call them whatever you want. Call them the admin squad. One thing is for sure, they're definitely very good. They made the GOATS tournament like you were just alluding to there. And it's, of course, a lot of players being picked up from the Saga Genesis team that went to pretty far in the multi-tier tournament last time. I'm not sure if they made playoffs, actually, but I know that they definitely didn't do bad in the multi-tier tournament. They're hoping to make a repeat of their last GOATS tournament and then take it even further, go all the way the distance and claim that victory in the finals. But speaking of claiming that victory, we don't have too much more to talk about here on the desk. But about these two teams, I think the coaching is definitely going to play a large factor in this. Both teams have very good coaching staff, and I think that's probably a large factor of how they've come this far. Do you think that the coaching difference for Saga Genesis with them having a whole 4 coaches is going to push them that one extra step in the finals? Or do you think that Olympus Kronos with their undefeated record is just going to bowl through them?
Well, with the two, the big coaches that I know of, Zany and Hibachi, both incredible players in the Tier 4 scene, I think they have that chance to win this series out because of it. Zany, a very good Reinhardt and Zarya player himself, as well with Hibachi being a very good support player as well. I think they can run it, make it an interesting series, but I think coaching can only go so far, specifically in Tier 2. It's all usually more about that player that has more skilled than the rest of the lobby in Tier 2. So right now I'm thinking Olympus Kronos, but it could be a long series. We don't know. But we'll see what happens. Right now I'm thinking Olympus Kronos, but if Saga wins a couple maps, we'll see how it changes. And we're going into our first map, which is going to be Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and as we dive into the control center, I'd have to go on the prediction as well. Just looking at the record that Olympus Kronos has, it seems like they've just dominated the entire GOATS tournament, and I don't have too many doubts that they will stop that domination as they into this first round. Very interesting. Well, actually, not too interesting. We've got standard comps from both of these teams. Joker, what do you think can be the difference maker as they already start this engagement?
Well, I talked about in our last finals. That support, that flex support role is incredibly important in this GOATS composition, and we've already seen it. Can of Soup getting timeline out of that fight with that Discord orb on him, and they're going to be speeding into the rest of Olympus Kronos and taking out the rest of their squad.
Yeah, big pick, the best pick you can get in terms of that Reinhardt. Look at that earth chart. You can see that both of those Reinhardts are already very close.
Why is this happening already, NSB? Your mic is already working up like it was yesterday, but we're going to get into this next fight. If you want to look at it for a quick second, Kronos is going to be pushing in here, not going to get any real progress as those Shatter coming out from timeline, going to get no value, he's going to be killed. DB Ninja is going to follow it up on the Icebox as well, and that's going to be another team fight win for Saga Genesis.
Yeah, the best pickoff you can get again. The Shatter not working out and timeline not surviving through that team fight, but they do have a lot of tools in the next one.
Yeah, they've got the sound barrier to engage with. They've also got this Graviton Surge as well, and there's going to be the grab coming out, however, from Etienne.
Yeah, big ultimate to start things off. You see the stun allowing Ninja to claim one with the self-destruct, but the damage has already been done from Etienne, finding 3 kills, beaming down everyone with that Zarya. But you see all of those assists in the kill feed coming from Can of Soup, who's still holding on to that Transcendence.
And it's good because Jackster's still having this this Graviton Surge online as well. They've got enough to weather the storm. They have all 3 support ultimates for this. They're going to initiate with Rally here.
Big looking for the big shatter, lands it, and that is going to be it for yet another Goose, the one getting all the kills this time around, but the follow-up was there in any way, shape, or form. It's been sort of a stomp so far in this first round, sort of changing the tides in terms of the momentum coming into the series.
Well, right now, Jackster needs to use his ultimate. That's the big thing. You can't be waiting. You need to use it. You need to initiate with this ultimate as soon as you possibly can, and he's going to do that right here.
Yeah, waits for the defense matrix to expire there from Ninja and lands. You have to get on the point though, and they barely do, I believe. I don't even know who got on the point, but Sparheart, meanwhile, in the backside, getting a couple kills, lands the charge onto Jackster, who had no clue that Ryan was coming in like a train. Just gives an Earth Shatter for good measure on the point. It won't climb all the way up the pillar to get Student Tears on their back, but Can of Soup will be the one finding that kill. It's just a lone Reinhardt on the point, and they can't even hold up the shield long enough to survive that Diva Bomb, the solo grab, just to get rid of Spirit Soldier. And that is overtime ticking down 100-0 here in our first point.
Yeah, and you could really see it was a real difference in Zarya's that first round. Jackster only using that one Graviton Surge, while Etienne built up to at least 3, I believe, in that entire first map. You can't be getting that outclassed if you are Jackster on that Zarya right now. You need to be matching Etienne grab for grab, getting value with each grab like Etienne was, and they need to see a difference to make difference coming into this next round of Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and that's the difference between like these lower tiers and the higher tiers that we just casted yesterday, the tier 4 match. It's more about these mistakes in tier 2. Like, players will make mistakes at this level, and it's about capitalizing. It's about fixing those mistakes as well, and that's what Kronos are hoping to do as they take the surge onto the objective. Shield going low, health going low for Sparheart, and it's going to be the Diva boosters that lands that final blow. It's just clean up from here on out because that Reinhardt is gone. The main pillar of Saga Genesis is fallen, and it's going to be first control going over to Olympus Kronos.
And it was nice focusing of Sparheart's shield in that fight. They used the use of the Discord orb as well from Spirit Soldier onto the Rhine. getting that health down as quickly as possible. Getting that Reinhardt out of that fight is the key for your win in a GOATS. You don't have a main tank, you don't have a GOATS composition.
Yeah, Icebox is so far ahead on this rally charge, probably whip shot they at the end of that last fight, but the rally could be an early tool if this engagement comes out for a while longer. Spirit Soldier also farming up to that Transcendence, but Olympus Kronos, they decide to play it a bit defensive, the Discord Orb going onto timeline, so they can't build up towards the rest of that Shatter very quickly, and they do go down before the Transcendence is activated. Now it's panic mode here for Olympus Kronos as they try and even things up, but the bombs just trade out and kills, and still the advantage goes to Saga Genesis because Kronos lose their Reinhardt yet again. But speaking of losing your Reinhardt, there goes Sparheart. The support ultimates again just a tad too late. The Grav locks up everyone, but Zapdos is going to be fine with that Sand Barrier, and we still see the trades coming through timeline, landing the Shatter there on the point, but not too much follow-up here, and they're just trying to keep that Reinhardt alive. Icebox with only a few packs left on that Brigitte, and still things continue here. A big stun coming through. Spirit Soldier is nearly to another Transcendence, but they're not going to need it to close out this fight.
And I hate to keep harping on Zarya plays, but as a Zarya player in GOATS, I notice more things on them. And I've seen a lot of misuse of bubbles. Try to get to keep at charge, like above 70 charge. That's not necessary in this. You only need 50 charge to be adequately well. You need to save those bubbles specifically for when your Rhine is in trouble and needs to get out of a fight. That's a big Shatter coming out from Sparheart.
Yeah, and Olympus Kronos are now the ones in trouble. The Grav locks them all up, but they do launch the bomb into the backline. That finds nothing though, and now you have the Shatter. The Transcendence countering that one out, so timeline won't be able to follow up quite yet, but he's already 3/4 of the way to the next one. I don't even know how. It was only a couple swings in, but DBG Ninja again landing that one kill from the self-destruct is this time it's going to be enough to turn the fight. Saga Genesis avoid getting 100-0 here on this round. They're going to keep the night market going for just a bit longer.
Yeah, nice plays coming out from Ninja on that Diva in the 11th hour for Saga Genesis, getting those kills necessary to flip the fight in their favor. And now they have ultimates to speak of for this hold here. However, they don't have as crucial. They do be teleporting at Brimmer. They do be teleporting, but they don't have this crucial Transcendence online for this fight here with Jackster's Grav online.
A very nice block on the Shatter from Sparheart, but their Shatter lands into a shield as well. Here the difference makers are going to be that Grav and the Transcendent. Kronos farming those up just a bit quicker, but they're not taking advantage of those ultimates. Etienne finds two yet again, doing very well on this Zarya. The off tanks for Saga Genesis so on point.
Yeah, and Spirit Soldier getting caught out there by Etienne in that last fight, completely away from his team on the other side of the one statue in on Night Market. You need to be together with your team if you're that Zenyatta. You can't be out on your own. And here comes the grab, it looks like, from Jackster, but then Shatter gets blocked.
Yeah, just barely as the shield went down from Sparheart right after blocking that one. The Transcendence is again to counteract the grab. The Zenyatas are actually doing very well so far at counteracting that big ultimate that locks them all up. The Sound Barrier lands onto 6, and it's a crucial one as it keeps Olympus Kronos ticking in this fight. Mifdu's so close to the rally, but Saga Genesis are going to want it just a bit sooner. They do find the whip shot though, and the Shatter comes through. That's going to lock down everything here for Saga Genesis, and they've counted up towards a final fight. What a play.
What a play indeed. It all started off with Miffed Goose and I believe Zapdos as well, getting that kill onto Legit Twinkie. Separated from the squad, getting whip-shotted and booped off the side of the map, and then don't have any way to really mitigate the damage, and then Sparheart hitting that massive Shatter.
Yeah, Legit Twinkie wrapping around the backside, able to touch the point, and this one's not going to be as much of an ultimate fiesta. It does have to go quickly, though, if we don't want those ultimates to build up for Olympus Kronos, and the grab does come through. Sparheart falls just as he gets rid of timeline here, but the D-Mech is again big for Miffed Goose, trying to control the tempo here in this overtime battle, again landing the whip shot. The grab doesn't really have much follow-up. There's not much damage left on the point because Jackster is so low and has to retreat behind that pillar, but he does get rid of two big supports. DBG Ninja still keeping this going, trying to get rid of the Brig of Icebox, and he has to do it very quickly. The sound barrier comes through to save that Brig, and now the rally is going to come in suit. This should be Olympus Kronos taking control, but now Sparheart pinning straight in. The sound barrier comes through from Zapdos this time around in the Reinhardt's trade yet again, but Timeline building up to another shatter here. The Grav just doesn't really lock too many people up on the backside, so Etienne not really finding too much value there, and it looks like Olympus Kronos will in fact flip it.
It was looking good for Saga, but then the kills kept coming through for Kronos, and in the end, they win out that fight. Nice plays coming in from the support, staying alive, waiting for those major damage dealers coming back from spawn, and eventually turning the fight in their favor. We're going into point 3 of Lijiang Tower here, and it is still anyone's matchup.
Yeah, Olympus Kronos just sort of blocking out the control center their mind. It's really easy to get 100 to Ode at the beginning of that map, especially when maybe they weren't as warmed up as Saga Genesis, but they're coming into the gardens with a head full of steam. It was a close last round, and I'm expecting the fights to be very long. And in those long fights, who do you think has the better ultimate usage so far?
Oh goodness. I don't really know. We've seen a lot of big plays from Sparheart, so I'll go with Saga Genesis right now. But I don't know. Some of their ultimates have been questionable at this time, but Sparheart has been getting a lot of massive Earth Shatters in the 11th hour, as well with Ninja with some self-destructs.
Yeah, Ninja's been going crazy on the D.Va so far, and you were speaking about Sparheart. He landed a massive Fire Strike at the start of that one, but so far has had to go on the retreat, as Timeline is actually the first one to build up to Shatter. He's stunned up, but Jackster, he can do the cleanup all on his own, beaming down everyone on the Zarya. That's 3 kills, 4 for the man here as he gets the melee beat down, and this point goes over to Olympus Kronos. They keep their momentum going from the Gardens.
Yeah, the momentum keeps on going. Spirit Soldier looking really good on this Zenyatta, keeping that Discord Orb on Sparheart. You can't let Sparheart get overly aggressive. You need to keep him in check, and they're showing that so far that they can do that. And I think that's the big thing for this Olympus Kronos going into this matchup. If you keep Sparheart in check, you can win this series out. If he is enabled by his team, he can do a lot of damage. And we were seeing that first map now, but with Spirit Soldier now keeping him more in check with that Discord Orb, it's getting more in favor of Olympus Kronos.
Yeah, nice patience there from Saga Genesis, waiting for their support to charge those ultimates, and a few of them come out, but it's a bomb shatter combo, and Twinkie gets 4. Absolutely massive from the D.Va. Jackster is going to have the cleanup, but that was all the bomb shatter combo there in that fight. Olympus Kronos counting past 50%.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to avoid that situation. Normally, some people will try to block the shatter because you obviously think that it's going to be coming, and then wait for the then turn around to block the self-destruct, but it was very well-timed ultimate usage from the side of Olympus Kronos.
Yeah, Sparheart lets down the shield for a mere second and gets blown out of the water there. He actually used the shatter, finding too much. I would have loved to see a bomb shatter combo for them to try and get back in this one, but they're going to be scrambling to contest at 99% here.
Yeah, and they have the ultimates really to do something on, to probably re-engage. However, Spirit Soldier still having that Transcendence is going to be big for Etienne's grab coming up here. Gonna get lockup 3 though.
Ninja dropping the self-destruct straight in the middle. The pin is actually a bit late, but nevertheless, Ninja finds 2 here in this overtime battle, and that's just what Saga Genesis needs. They can't overcommit this, though. Can of Soup has to hold this Transcendence for the next fight, because while this one is won, it's going to be a long road back to build up that 99% and win this first map here for Saga.
Yeah, and like you said, they had to use everything there. They had to even at least flip it. Etienne almost getting a decent chunk of ult percentage back into his for this next engagement. Sparheart almost up to this shatter. That's going to be big. They need a big shatter from him right now as that is their biggest ultimate on the board. If he can hit this, we could see a hold by. Here comes the grab from Jackster.
Yeah, it's Jackster opening things up on the other side. It's another bomb shatter. It gets... And 2 is enough. It's quite more than enough here for Olympus Kronos, as they are fine with this. Another team wipe coming through. The stalls are going to be very little, and yeah, Zapdos is gone here. Overtime is probably just going to take down with no contention. Sparheart is coming around the backside with the shatter and lands down 2, but he will not be able to get on the point. He did not have that charge cooldown ready to go. So it will be Olympus Kronos taking the first map, and it was close.
Yeah, it was really close. Some good plays coming in from the tank line of Kronos in the end to really win it out for them. Those combos of the self-destruct and earth shatter were very impressive. If you are, however, Sparheart, you need to keep that shield up sometimes. Specifically on that second one, I feel like that could have been avoided.
Yeah, probably could have been blocked.
With the earth shatter could definitely have been blocked, and then you would have had time to turn around and definitely block the self-destruct as well. But it's map 1, the first map jitters maybe. We're gonna go into the next map, which is King's Row, obviously. Oh, yeah, I forgot my camera freezes every time I click off my link, so I can't do that anymore. But King's Row, a staple GOATS map, everyone's favorite GOATS map, and it'll be really interesting to see how these teams go on in this map.
I mean, everyone expected this for our next hybrid map. King's Row, of course, the staple of GOATS. It's where GOATS began. The original team perfected the composition right here by the statues and down the streets. It's going to be a great show of which team can, again, use their ultimates better and just make less mistakes than the enemy team. I think that's the big thing here. We'll see if the coaching diff comes into play from either side as we take a dive into King's Row, because there's been a break between maps 1 and 2. However short it may be, the coaches did get a word in here, so we'll see if Saga Genesis can flip things around. They're starting on the defense here.
Yeah, we have a substitute coming in for Saga Genesis. I believe, if I was reading chat correctly, it's Laura coming in. I believe they're a support player normally, but they're a diva player. But fair enough. It's still an off tank, but I believe Etienne was having some very big ping issues the first map. So this is why we're seeing Laura come in. We also see Hockey Man coming in onto this Reinhardt for Olympus Kronos timeline over to the Zarya.
Yeah, that's the big thing I would want to note there. The entire tank line of Kronos being flip-flopped here. We'll see if Hockey Man can go big with these ultimate combos with the new diva of Jackster, who swapped over from that Zarya. And so far, they're bursting down the shield of Sparheart very quickly. And you see Laura, though, coming into this map with a passion here, getting rid of Twinkie, who I believe had overstepped that shield just a bit. Myth Goose is now going to find that stagger kill, getting rid of timeline before they can farm up that grab.
We go to spawn, they go, trying to get the kills, get some stagger kills in late in the fight. But in the middle of all that, Olympus was able to get 42% on the onto the objective. That's, if they keep doing that for 3 fights, they'll have the point unlocked, and we'll still have time. There comes the shatter, and he gets stunned out. Nope, he does not get stunned out of it.
Does land 1 onto the ground. The shielding was there, though. I thought it was going to be a lot more map, to be honest, but that move was anticipated by Saga Genesis. Person grab. They've got some ultimates to counter things out. Ninja dropped himself to 3. Absolutely gigantic as Ninja continues to pop off, especially with the ultimate usage. That's going to be another fight one, and the time bank burned down to half here for the attack.
Yeah, 3 ultimates used there from Saga Genesis. However, 4 being used by Kronos and not being able to get any more progress on that. You like the trade if you are Saga Genesis going to this. They're gonna be and a nice pick by Laura already getting Spirit. They're not gonna be able to push this, and we're gonna see a nice push coming in from Saga Genesis to try to kill any stragglers. And they get the Lucio out of the fight. That's another big stagger coming in from Saga Genesis.
These aren't just big staggers for the time bank, they're big staggers to build up these ultimates, because now you have Can of Soup closer towards the Transcendence here, and that could be big to try and counteract upcoming Grav from Timeline here. But now the engagement begins, the Discords going on to their respective Rhines. We'll see who can land a big Shatter or a big bomb, and neither of them come through. The Shatter on the other side, though, gigantic. Sparheart dies himself, paying for that one with his life, and now the Grav comes through. Absolutely no protection, but the Transcendence is there. Saga Genesis gonna have to play the rest of this one without their Rhine, but it looks like their off tanks can handle it. Ninja with the double, and that's gonna be enough.
Yeah, questionable ults from Timeline there. You did get the Transcendence out, however, which is it's still an all right trade. You're still you still have a larger ult percentage in that race to 100 between the Zarya and D.Va at the moment. They're gonna initiate with Sound Barrier here though.
Yeah, and they do have this Transcendence saved up. It's going to come out in response of the grab. DBG Ninja was booped during the self-destruct, but still somehow finds 2 here, and it's going to be a tough fight for Olympus Kronos from here on out. Hockey Man finds 1, but he's being bullied in the back corner, and Can of Soup gets the elimination. A Discord there onto Timeline all the way around the backside, and that's going to be a late stagger kill.
Yeah, it was a nice pin from Sparheart onto the Reinhardt, getting rid of the shield for Olympus Kronos, being able to win it out because of it. The Shatter coming out massive, but it's a bigger sound barrier coming out, and Sparheart's going to take Hockey Man out.
Yeah, that sound barrier is so important for the tempo there, saving everyone, giving them enough room to get rid of the opposing Rhine, who won't be there to block the Shatter from Sparheart, as now Deathstar Laura gets the kill. Absolutely gigantic kill, as well as I believe the rally animation was coming out right there. The Transcendence just to try and close things out. The picks are coming through as again the tank line popping off from Saga Genesis. 50% is all that will be gained from Olympus Kronos. They didn't even unlock the entire first objective here.
Yeah, that's what you like to see from Saga. After going down a 1-0 in the series, you come back onto King's Row, you limit your opponent to only 51% on the board, not even unlocking the cart, and you are in a very good position to win this map out and tie up the series. Some great plays coming out from Ninja on this D.Va here, getting some massive self-destructs as well. With Laura coming in onto this Zarya and getting massive kills as well.
Yeah, absolutely great work from all of them. And Sparheart is hovering. I don't expect it to stick. I again give odds of about, I don't know, 10% chance that we see a Winston in any of these finals series. But who knows? It may stick. They've got some time to experiment around. They have 4 minutes just to gain a tick and a half. So we could see anything here from the attack. But looking at the defense, it's all normal. And, I mean, it's going to be tough for Olympus to win out this map. Very tough.
Yeah, and the Winston right now I feel like is in the best place, but obviously I think he's just doing it to get up to the top. Yeah, he's just going to swap over to the Reinhardt. But the Winston right now, I feel like with all the Winston comps that we're seeing with double bubble and dive, I think Winston Goats could be in a really interesting place. I wish we could see it, but Ninja's going to be already demaxed.
Yeah, losing your D.Va mech early is going to mean that Sparheart in a lot of trouble. Oh, it's Timeline who goes down first.
Yeah,
Man is over onto the D.Va, but things won't be paying off so far, as now Ninja is the one getting the D-Mech onto Hockey Man. The Discord orbs there, a nice headshot from Can of Soup on that objective, as now it's all but captured here for Saga Genesis. 1 tick gained, and the rest will be easy pickings from here on out. That is a great way to tie up the series, and whatever these coaches said before map 2 must have stuck with Saga Genesis, because they are back in this one by a lot.
Yeah, definitely. It was, you could really see Can of Soup's impact on that attack there, getting Discord Orbs on priority targets, specifically the Reinhardt of Timeline there going down early. And that spelled the end for Olympus Kronos. You can't have your Reinhardt going down first. And you need to shore that up going into our third map. But we'll keep talking about this before we go anywhere further. But I feel like definitely not having your Zarya on massive ping really helped Saga Genesis there. We saw Laura contribute a lot in many of the fights, and really also benefited them with their Zarya being able to do things.
I mean, Laura was playing on probably a consistent 130 due to being EQ and NA. But I mean, it's better than having your ping spike all over the place, what was happening on Li Shang. But before we go into our next map of the series, we're going to take a quick break. And this one is probably going to be a long one from the teams just going back and forth, throwing haymaker after haymaker into each other. And we'll see who comes out on top in our next map after the break. Welcome back, everyone, to the Tier 2 finals here tournament. We've had a good match so far with Saga firing back in crazy fashion there on King's Row, putting up a near full hold, denying above 50% capture on point A, and then just completely stomping through on the offense here. The substitutions coming in for this Kronos on that map maybe might not have been the move. Joker, what do you think sort of gets disrupted by doing so many substitutions in the tank line?
Well, obviously, synergy is really important in the GOATS composition and working together. You shouldn't really make substitutions specifically after you win a map, because you have good chemistry, you have good synergy after that first map. If anything, you swap after a loss to change something up, maybe because you didn't have that synergy that you needed, or that the chemistry that wasn't working well at that time. And we saw substitution coming in for Saga Genesis, Laura on that Zarya, making a huge difference in that for Saga. And I don't know. If I was Kronos right now, I'd go back to that first tank line that we saw, because they looked a lot cleaner on that. Lot cleaner than they did on King's Row, obviously. And right now, after seeing that, I'd really like Saga's chances going into our next map, which is going to be Hanamura, which has that the same element of King's Row does with that point. And we saw how well they were able to defend it. We might see another full hold coming in for Saga Genesis.
Yeah, what a great segue. Also, speaking of great, you've got Saga Genesis, really great on the defense. They had that full, like you mentioned. And you also mentioned Hanamura, a very similar map to King's Row in terms of just attacking that first objective. It's going to be tough for Olympus Kronos to get through on the attack, but we'll have to see if they can do that said thing. I think the snowball potential is an interesting factor on Hanamura. It's a map you see a lot of GOATs on. It's been the sort of specific assault map for GOATs in a lot of these series. And when you capture that point A in the fight, you're very likely to capture it again on point B. You can just sort of snowball through very easily, especially with the way the ultimates count up in the special workshop code we've got for GOATs.
Yeah, like you said, we haven't talked about it really. Ultimates are buffed very much so. All ultimates are, I believe, gained faster. So it's more like the old GOATs old GOATs when it was prevalent in the game. But yeah, being able to build up those ultimates very quickly can end up really winning you that defense or the offense in a stagger, if you can, or sorry, a snowball. If you can build up another one in the from the previous fight.
Yeah, ultimate usage so important here, especially at the tier 2. Tier 2 is you sort of start developing the sense of like when to use your ultimate and trying to build it up very fast. And speaking of fast ultimates, we see a lot of them very as well as the attack. They've got to rally if they want to take a second, be patient, but they have to use it right then to try and defend the shatter, which lands down a couple. The sound barrier coming out in response to the graviton surge, but it's a massive and move on forward. They have to watch out for the bomb above the top though, and Jackster finds two supports and Dead Star Laura not able to hide behind that Reinhardt shield on the other side of the choke. And it was nice patient play from Saga Genesis on the attack here. You're going to see the stagger come through as well, but Olympus Kronos just able to have that better ultimate usage like we were talking about before.
Yeah, and we're seeing what we initially saw on Kings Row, the tank line for Kronos, and they're looking a lot better now. Maybe it was just the first map jitters for Hockey Man, but right now they're looking a lot better. Maybe a misplay of ultimates coming in from Saga Genesis, using all three support ultimates in that engagement, the previous engagement, not getting any value with them either, besides saving themselves from Graviton Surge.
A very nice bubble from Laura at the start of that fight. Saves Ninja and allows another huge D.Va bomb from Ninja. This guy has been crazy with the D.Va ultimate, and the D.Va from the other side will get staggered for a short while. That respawn won't matter too much since you do respawn on a quicker timer on Assault after capturing an objective. But 440 in the time bank is nothing to be scoffed at. Saga Genesis, though, not able to snowball as well as we would have liked.
Yeah, they don't have the ultimates really to do so. They, the only thing they're really close to is Sparheart's Shatter. That would be used for a snowball. They can initiate with Miffed Goose's Rally here, but that's not what you want. You need a big tank ultimate to invest in if you're trying to snowball this second point.
And they do have the Transcendence as well, but that's just probably Transcendence in a lot of trouble, but finds the Shatter. And now the follow-up will most likely come through as Saga are trapped in this tiny little room. The Mega Pack can only be used once, and more than one player is going to be needing it after they get slammed down upon by Hockey Man here.
This is a big stagger out from onto Ninja here. They didn't. I was assuming they were just gonna keep stunning him and such until he either got to the side of the map or they eventually killed him with the. It's so much funnier when you have an Ana instead of a Zenyatta, because you can sleep the D.Va, then when you wake up, shield bash him and then body block and then sleep him again. That's some fun goes right there. Not if you're the D.Va player though.
D.Va staggers on Hanamura point B are also very, very common, but coming in from behind is Jackster, doesn't land the self-destruct. The shield is barely Sparheart, but the grab comes through, and the follow-up is quite there from Hockey Man and the rest of the crew. He does get pinned himself, but the rest of his team is going to be able to follow up, and anything they can do to burn down this time bank is going to be great for them, but they still have 3 more minutes to go nearly.
Yeah, 3 minutes to go. Oh, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We'll give it that. We'll give it that. It's not that close to 3 minutes anymore. But both teams with copious amounts of ultimates going into this next fight. But you might have to definitely give it to Saga Genesis with those 3 tank ultimates online, as well with the sound barrier to initiate with. It's a big kills from Hockey Man.
Yeah, Hockey Man doing a bit of Rhine tech there, using... And Sparheart got a pretty big one on the back end, and the bomb somehow didn't get anything there from Ninja. A lot of ultimates down the drain here from both sides, but they still have this grab and the Transcendence for the attack, so it's not all lost.
Yeah, and Spirit Soldier not having that Transcendence online either is going to be huge for this next engagement. However, Student Tears with the sound barrier is going to be necessary to stave off the aggression from Saga Genesis after using this grab.
Yeah, it's a very winnable fight for the attack here, but they do lose. Besides, you've got the rally as coming out from both of these Brigidas, but without the Reinhardt especially attacking point B, it's going to be so hard for Saga Genesis. The grab comes through and it locks up everyone. And while the Transcendence is there momentarily, it's going to be very tough for Saga to continue this fight. Hockey Man is going to respawn a lot quicker, and as that Reinhardt gets back into the mix, it could just go downhill for Saga Genesis, but they continue to trade things out somehow. Sparhard already back in the fight, a nice charge to get all the way across the bridge here, and somehow Saga Genesis are keeping things rolling despite losing so many during this fight. They've got the Transcendence in terms of the defense. That's going to save Students Tears enough to maybe build up the sound barrier. You've also got Jackster here with the self-destruct, looking for something, maybe anything here, but it drops on the wrong side of the objective and it won't be able to get past the shield, and the shatter from Sparhart could just be it. They're at least trying to get a tick here, Joker, but the sound barrier again keeping things going for the defense, and they might get this respawn advantage.
Yeah, I'm still so confused how it was almost flipped around for Saga Genesis there. The self-destruct coming out from Ninja, looking to get some value. Not going to get any kills, however, and Timeline's going to get their counterpart out of this fight. It's 5 seconds left, NSB, and I think they've done it. They're going to be able to hold it, even though it looked like the, at some times, Saga pulled it back from the brink. We see Olympus Kronos holding on, only 1 point given up. And they're going to put themselves in a really good place for their attack coming up.
Yeah, Timeline just demolishing at the end on the Zarya there, charged 4 kills, I believe. And Saga Genesis put up such a fight for an entire minute and a half and some overtime, and they didn't even get a tick on point B. That's got to be so sad if you are those attackers, but now they're going to try and do the same on defense. I think the draw is possible, but it's all down to this point A hold. They cannot lose it and give up like a 5.5 minute time bank or something crazy like that, because it would just be downhill from there on B.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. We did see them do a very good on that defense, like I was talking about on King's Row. So this could go into their defense on first point Hanamura. So we could see them win out this map. However unlikely it might be. It's going to be really up to key uses of ultimates and ultimate rotation. Like we were talking about with the EU GOATS finals the other day. When I think it was the exact same map when we were talking about how they didn't have they didn't have really a shot to hold it, but then they did end up full holding and winning the map out.
Yeah, the entire full hold coming through yesterday, but it's all about our position. Look at this Reinhardt all the way beyond the choke. The pin misses, and I think they might get back to their team. Bodies, Olympus, Kronos. No. But that's just a terrible start. You can't be out there if you're Reinhardt. You cannot be caught beyond the choke, especially when Brig can stun through shields on this workshop code, because even with your shield up, you're just going to be collapsed upon. And Hockey Man building up to a shatter already compared to Sparhart's 25%. And that tells the story of how this first fight went. A terrible beginning for Saga Genesis's defense. They're going to have to hold for so long on B. I was going to call it drawable at the start there, but probably not anymore.
Yeah, no, that was not good from Sparhart. You can't be doing that, especially when you're trying to at least get the draw here. Now 6 minutes on the clock, and no ultimates had to be used from the side of Olympus Kronos to win that out, and now you have ultimates coming up online for this snowball here.
Yeah, they're building very close to the snowball. You're a soldier kind of behind in this Transcendence grab. That could be the winner in this fight, but Sparhart goes down again. Tried to land in the shatter, but I didn't see too much there in terms of the kill feed. You've got the solo grab coming through, and again lays down the self-destruct. Great work from the Diva player again with their ultimate usage. Laura and Ninja going to be able to finish off that fight without their Reinhardt, but they've got another 5 minutes plus to hold.
Yeah, and with Kronos coming up on these big ultimates, they had Saga had to use everything in that last fight to hold on to it. They just have the Sound Bearer online, almost Can of Soup's Transcendence as well, but with 4 ultimates coming online for Kronos, this should be an easy fight win for them. If it's not, it's going to be a great hold coming in from Saga Genesis.
Yeah, Saga hoping to hold on to this fight and force it to go. It's going to make things tough. Sparheart trying to build up to that next one. Started with all the way down at 15% at the start of this fight, but won't get a chance to use it. Again, a huge from Icebox there on the Brig. Those Reinhardts trade out, and now Hockey Man has reign over the objective. The attack is going to be able to storm down all the way into spawn. They've left a few off tanks here on the point, but they're going to come back and deal with them swiftly. And you've got Spirit Soldier just focusing down everyone with the Discord Orb. Here's where the shot calling comes into play from the attack. They have to get rid of these staggers quick, and that's what they do. It's only a Lucio and a Zen, neither of them having ultimate abilities, so they will not last long. The Shatter stops Laura from touching the point, and Olympus Kronos pulling out ahead yet again.
Yeah, I don't know who did it. I'm assuming probably the Lucio, but in that last fight before it all ended for Saga Genesis, Olympus Kronos' either Brig or Lucio was able to get the Zenyatta off the high ground after using Transcendence, and that really just turned the tide of the fight. Not being able to get that massive amount of healing to your team after that big shatter from Hockey Man, it really just... And it was the beginning of the end for Saga Genesis there. Unfortunate for Saga, Zenyatta, who was playing very well on that map. But nice plays coming out from the support line of Kronos, getting realizing what they needed to do and executing it.
Yeah, good execution from Kronos on the attack. They saw Sparheart out in the open there on point A. However interesting that decision may have been to stand out on the left side, it was collapsed upon well, and you saw multiple stuns from the Brig there of, I believe it was Icebox, on the attack for Olympus Kronos, stunning up that Reinhardt, especially when they had that Shatter almost ready to go. And it's just pain if you're a main tank player watching that one. This Hockey Man just sort of dominated with the help of the support line focusing down his opposing main tank. So it was a huge difference maker there for the attack. I think the support line from Kronos definitely stepped it up, especially from last map. I think it was overall a better than the last two, and I'm hoping that they can continue to improve that if they want to just shut out this series right here, right now, and stop Saga Genesis from getting any more points on the board. But looking forward into the series, it's going to be Escort up next, I believe.
Yeah, and that's going to be Rialto. A lot of small areas to hold teams on. We've talked about it before. That corner of death, like we like to call it, on a second point of Rialto is massive for teams to hold on, as well as the gate of the doorway into the church of point 3. Those are big places you see defenses start their holds. And if they can get the control, if the defense can get that control, obviously if they get to point 2, but if they get that control of those areas, we could see a massive hold coming in from the defense.
Yeah, I want some team to set the tone here on whichever team it is. I want one team just to go all out on the attack, capture all and put some time up on the board, because this map is pretty defense favored, especially if you think about goats. There's chances to brawl in the courtyard of point A. There's chances to brawl in the corner of death, like you mentioned, on B, as well as the doorway into the church on C. So now that Olympus Kronos are on the attack again, hoping to continue their momentum from Hanamura on that attack. They're hoping to just roll through things, and I think if they set the series.
Yeah, whoever can set this tone on this map, I think I feel like this is a massive map for either team. If they can, whoever wins this, I believe will have a big shot of winning this series.
Oh, it's a spawn hold.
Sorry, they were a little late there, getting to that spawn hold, and Sparheart already focused down. That's not good from the spawn hold of Saga Genesis there.
Yeah, it was a good idea, but they let the tanks out first, and if you let the tanks out first in a spawn hold, then you try and pounce on the supports, but then they were just a bit too early. The supports weren't quite alone there. Hockeyman was able to help out, and he already has a shatter.
Yeah. There's a lot of image coming out from the Olympus Kronos main tank there. No one really else close to their ultimates. Everyone over almost 50. However, everyone 50%. Big block from Sparheart, though. That's going to be massive.
Yeah, it's great to see a block on that shatter because I imagine Sparheart expect Hockeyman to have it so early in that fight, and he does take out the opposing Reinhardt. Again, the off tanks ever so consistent here for Saga Genesis. Following up with the cleanup, you see those tanks filling the kill feed here. As now we're just under 3 minutes, we've already had 2 fights, but here's where the ultimates begin to build up for Saga.
Yeah, and speaking of good places to hold, this corner right here is great for the defense. Nice sight lines for them. And the ultimates are very much in their favor at this moment in time. 3 tank ultimates to speak of, to only the 2 of Olympus Kronos. But with that big transcendence and the rally being invested here, that's no value coming in from the shatter from Sparheart.
Yeah, you see so many ultimates committed here from both teams, and the bomb comes down. Somehow Zapdos falls. I don't know where they were caught out. Not ever behind the shield, but now Ninja launching a self-destruct off the top, claims 1, but the big kill here is onto Sparheart. The Reinhardt Spirit Soldier with that extra Brig armor from the beginning of this fight is able to just walk forward and do all the damage that they want, and that's going to be the cart continuing to surge forward here for the attackers.
Yeah, and I think Zapdos got caught out. The cart might not have been able to save them, maybe, and maybe it moved a little bit. Maybe it went through underneath it, like you can shatter underneath the cart. I don't really know, but it's unfortunate when your Lucio gets caught out early. You need that speed boost in goats specifically.
Yeah, this shatter from Hockeyman not landing. Sparheart falls whenever they just drop their shield. Spirit Soldier is always there applying a Discord Orb, and they're the one who finds the final blow in that instance on the Reinhardt, and now it's just trying to stall out this time bank if you are Saga. No ults should be committed in this fight from either side at the end here. Ninja's still left in the backside, but Timeline will be able to clean up that kill and make their tally 3 in the fight. They're also coming up to a grab. I want to see another good rotation claiming the high ground for the attack here.
Yeah, claiming high ground can be massive if you are this attacking side. High ground.
They should have walked up the stairs. Oh no.
They didn't, and now Saga Genesis are going to be able to claim this high ground for themselves, and that's where you want to be. You want to be able to pounce on them like they're about to do right now with the rally and the speed boost, and that's a big boost coming in from Miffed Goose.
Yeah, Hockeyman just clipping the edge of the boat there, but he dips in for a bit too long, and he didn't with the self-destruct though, and it looks like Olympus Kronos can try and get back in this fight, and they will do just that. Timeline again going crazy on this Zarya. He's always high charge here, and DBG Ninja again the last straggler at the end. I think it was a crucial misstep from Olympus Kronos not taking the high ground, but either way they're able to just secure the fight.
Yeah, definitely in tribute to Spirit Soldier and that Zenyatta, or the Discord Orb placement as well, like you were mentioning earlier, and that's a big shatter coming out, only having to invest 2 ultimates for the side of Olympus Kronos, and they're going to be able to capture this very easily on the back of a massive shatter coming out from Hockeyman.
Yeah, Hockeyman doing illegal things here in the courtyards of Rialto. Now they're going to be a pretty good hefty time bank. They've only got this grab and the bomb though, and this Transcendence better be farmed quickly from Spirit Soldier.
Yeah, and you definitely need to hold it. You need to start this hold now. Roll before it's too late, because you're in point 3 right now. If you and you don't want to go down 301 if you are Saga Genesis. Here comes the grab from Timeline though.
Oh, the bomb comes down over the top, and I think Sparheart had a broken shield. DB back there gets one with the self-destruct. It doesn't even compare to Jaxter's Diva here, but as this fight boils down, it's not completely lost for Saga Genesis, because not only do they have the quicker respawns, they have probably the arguably better heroes in this fight, and it's going to be the off-tanks carrying them again to a fight victory here. Olympus Kronos just didn't have the right people surviving in that fight.
Such an interesting thing. Why would you go towards the opposition when the water's right behind you? You get demeched right below the walkway. You could just, I don't know, man. I don't play Diva, so I don't understand. But a nice turnaround from Saga Genesis here. Now this is a great place to start this hold. Nice place coming out from Ninja, who has got to be my player for my MVP for Saga Genesis so far.
And both of these off-tanks have ultimates again already.
And it's another
comes over the top. It's just massive from these off-tank players, and a pick is all you need if you're keep burning down this time bank. They want to play patient. That's what they're doing. That allows Laura to farm up this charge. It allows Ninja to keep charging up these fast self-destructs. They're playing with their off-tank strength so well here on this defense.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Ninja is by trade a DPS player.
I believe so.
And to see him popping off so much on this Diva when Member says he's on Mercy 1 trick, you hear that, Ninja. To see a non-normally DPS player not playing a traditional DPS player role in GOATS is really impressive, and it's more impressive to see them popping off and doing so well.
Ouch. That is a painful one for all the main tank players out there in chat. Hockey Man just pummeled. Miffed Goose finding 2 with the whip shot, stunning out that Reinhardt. It's going to be a swift demise for Olympus Kronos. That's exactly what they need, though, because they need to reset quick for this overtime fight coming up soon.
Yeah, and said this to another Brig player that we casted yesterday. I don't normally like, because you can't really find Brig gameplay that interesting, but right now I'm really liking Miffed Goose's, how they're playing this Brigitte, getting massive whip shot kills and whip shot value, and as well as massive shield bashes.
I mean, if someone can get Joker interested in Brig gameplay, they're definitely into that grab from Hockey Man that allows go kill Zapdos, who had used the sound barrier. They did get it off, but they won't be there to speed boost or amp those heals in the dregs of this fight. And Can of Soup has already used the Transcendence, but here comes the Shatter. That knocks down 5 for the defensive side, but Sparheart again just overstepping. Spirit Soldier always there to apply the Discord and apply those big shots from that Zenyatta. The grab is huge from Laura, but it won't gain anything in terms of kills on that kill feed, and that's what matters here, the overtime battle. You can't stall it out for so long, and they continue to surge forward.
Yeah, we'll be able to most likely re-engage this maybe as a team.
Overtime respawns, though.
Yeah, the overtime respawns is Sparheart's going to charge the cart, going to be felled in the end, and I think not being able to re-engage as a team is not going to be big. It's going to be huge for the Saga Genesis team.
Yeah, and it looks like they all do fall down there. Able to put up on the board, and despite us hyping up Saga Genesis so much on that defense, still Olympus Kronos were able to find the win condition, those fights that mattered, and they were able to walk it through all 3 objectives.
Yeah, still in getting it in at the end, you still get, you'll have at least a minute. Well, you have a minute to attack, but it's good. It's not like hybrid where if you don't capture in with time on the clock and the opposition gets more than a minute, you still get a chance to attack again, being an escort map. which is massive. But right now, it's really on Saga Genesis. They were looking really pretty clean on that defense of .3. Right now, you need to change. You need to replicate that going into your attacking phase and being able to capture with more time, have a better chance for the overtime rounds.
I'm loving this. It's like a bit of a push battle on top of the pillar here, as Sparheart and Ninja are trying to fell down. Their little battle will be won by the main tank here in Spawn. But now for the real battle. It's about to begin. Both teams again walking out the door with the traditional goats comps. No spawn hold this time from Kronos though.
I wasn't expecting it after we saw how poorly it went for our Saga Genesis, but hey, you never know.
Yeah.
Different teams, different ideologies. Right now, we're seeing Spirit Soldier already putting in the work with that Discord Orb onto Sparheart, also with the work of Icebox's Brigitte getting that, and they're going to touch the spawn doors for now.
I mean, how many times has Spirit Soldier been the one to that you would want to see in maybe tier 3, and it's coming out from this tier 2 player in the finals, and that's exactly what they need as this next fight boils down. You've got Sparheart again with that Discord Orb applied, but this Transcendence being charged very quickly on the other side. Dead Star Laura not quite up to the grab, and it's again Spirit Soldier who finds first blood. It should be downhill from here. There's not much pressure onto Hockey Man while Miffed Goose is gone on that Reinhardt. I believe he may have been stunned out or blocked from a shatter, but it doesn't matter because they've won the fight.
Yeah, and going back to Spirit Soldier here, we were talking about it yesterday and today. The big thing is if your flex support can get value with those abilities, you are going to win this out. And oh, Ninja, however, gonna eat the grab of time lane. That's massive coming in from the off tank of Saga Genesis.
It's the first grab eat we've seen this series, and it's just to add to the resume for Destruct. He's probably going to be demeched, and he has to use the self-destruct himself, and somehow it gains 2. Hockey Man, I think the shield must have been down or something, but either way, he didn't have it or didn't get it up in time, and that's going to cost him his life, and it's going to cost Kronos this corner most likely.
Yeah, still Ninja performing at a great level for at a great level for not an off-tank player, and no, he's probably outdoing a lot of tier 2 divas in general at this moment. He needs to keep this up if they want to have any shot. And oh, that's a massive stun up from Miffed Goose there.
I think the shatter did still land, but another shatter. Follow up. And this continues to be a tough task for Saga Genesis as they have to use the Transcendence in response to the grab. The shatter comes through from Hockey Man, and he's able to pin in this time for the follow-up, but he dies. And now the kills are finally coming through from Saga Genesis. So many critical health players for Kronos, and they will not be able to hold on to their lives, as 50 seconds on the board is not the greatest time bank as you walk it into A, but it's still workable for Saga.
And there's going to be some staggers coming out from these onto the tanks here of Olympus Kronos, as the diva as well might. No, I was assuming Sparrow might have just invested the shatter there to just get that kill onto that very big target. The timeline also gonna go down super low. Hockey Man coming in from spawn, getting the charge on a Miffed Goose. And Shattered coming out as well. Interesting.
Yeah, that was a very interesting exchange of ultimates and kills. We also see the Shatters coming through from the other side there. Hockey Man does back. It's a crucial one because now they don't have that transcendence that Can of Soup was holding in the pocket. DBG Ninja is again going to be left out there staggered. I'm liking the staggers coming through. This is something you don't usually see in Tier 2, and this is just telling the story of how close these two teams are and how far ahead of the pack they are.
Yeah, definitely. And right now we're seeing Saga Genesis coming back. Like you said, I'd like to see them try to take this high ground, and they seem like they might be. No, not they're not going to, but they have the ultimates to invest here and will definitely win this fight coming up.
I think Icebox dropped around the back side there and some. But you have the grab coming through. The self-destruct, they're still there, but now they will not be very healthy as Sparheart looks to surge forward and build towards the rest of that shatter. He does block Hockey Man's one that was coming in just a few seconds before, and now Timeline has this grab, pops it into the mix, and it lands on the 6 people, but there's not too much follow-up. The rest of Kronos were hiding behind the staircase, and Hockey Man decides that it was his time to go. He goes all the way in deep, dies, and now the shatter comes through for the attack. That would be it. You see the tanks lighting up the kill feed again for Saga Genesis, and they roll this one in to Objective C.
Yeah, nice plays coming out from Saga Genesis there. Knowing when to use that ultimate from Sparheart there after felling Hockey Man in the back line, not knowing they won't have any real way to block it unless Timeline massive value with their own bubbles. Oh, and a big stun comes up from Miff Goose, getting him out of this. But the Sparheart shield is breaking, and they're gonna have to just reset here.
Yeah, a very nice stun, but the self-destruct coming through, big as ever from these two Diva players. Jackster trying to fight back in the contest of getting the bigger Diva bombs, but Ninja has one of his own in this next fight. Another Grav bomb combo coming up in the mixer soon here. They also have the rally to maybe get things going, but a lot more support ultimates for Kronos here as this engagement begins. Timeline up on the top actually grabs the ceiling, and it's good awareness, good call-outs there because it does luck up 3 on the ceiling, but Hockey Man unable to walk forward there, was discorded and stunned up. So that grab doesn't get too much value. You have Ninja self-destruct still as well as the shatter, but Saga, they still want to play this patient. They're just waiting for the ultimates to be committed here, and Hockey Man lays down a couple on the ground. The shatter just a bit too late there to lock people up in that self-destruct, but now the sound barrier just used a tiny second later from Students' Tears, and that's going to be the difference maker because they're going to have that extra health later in the fight. But somehow, some way, Can of Soup has charged up another Transcendence for Timeline, and with that kill onto Hockey Man, they're going to win this fight. Absolutely crazy.
Absolutely crazy indeed. Nice plays coming out. Can of Soup getting that ultimate online for the grab of Timeline again. And now they're going to be going into this final fight, it seems, because, you know, GOATS fights can be very long, but it's grab coming out first.
It's got to be a huge shatter from Sparheart, but the huge shatter comes out from 15 on the clock as the wipe comes through. Saga Genesis can't even reach the point. Most likely it'll have to be DBG Ninja who is close to the self-destruct, but that's a very, very tall ask for this Diva player who might not even make it.
Well, they're gonna make it, but they're just gonna be grabbed up in the end and not be able to touch. And Olympus Kronos are gonna take the map and bring it to match point here.
Yeah, great work from them. Again, they're on to match point. They've got them in their hands, but I mean, these maps have been very, very fight win from either side on the defense or the offense for Saga Genesis could mean that they win that map entirely and they tie up the series. And we will be continuing this series because we still have at least one more map to go. I think Saga Genesis can probably fire back, but I'm liking Olympus Kronos' chances to close it out right here because they did win out on Lijiang Control pretty well, barring the just unfortunate events of the control center at the beginning. warmed up, and they're looking very strong to take our next control map, but that'll be coming up after a short intermission.
Yep.
Hello everyone and welcome back. We've boiled it down to a potential final map as Olympus Kronos take the lead 3-1, put us on match point in our 5th map of the Tier 2 GOATS finals here at the CGL. Joker, it's been a crazy close match so far between these two teams, just a few team fights separating each of these maps. But as we head into another control map, Olympus does have the advantage in the fact that they've won the last few maps and they also won our previous control type.
Yeah, and it's gonna be Nepal. Good thing about Nepal, we might finally see a Winston NSV.
Maybe
because of that the gigantic chasm on one of the on Shrine. I think
believe it's Sanctum.
Sanctum is what it's called, right? But you'd see it every time during an Owl game. If they are on Sanctum, they're locking that Winston because of those movement abilities of the Brigitte and the Lucio. They are and if you get off, you will pretty much lose that fight. You can't lose your Reinhardt, you can't lose your main tank in GOATS. Like I said earlier, that the Reinhardt or the main tank is that key part of the composition, and you need to keep him alive as long as possible. Maybe we see Winston because of that.
Yeah, and as we boil down into our first fight of the village, Reinhardt definitely going to be the norm. You see a lot of teams play GOATS-esque compositions during our current 2-2-2 gameplay, but the first pick is going to go the way of Nifgoose. They get rid of their counterpart in the Brigitte, and these two teams still fighting for posturing, but definitely the advantage still in Saga Genesis's favor. They do capture the first point, and this is probably going to be a long one. Olympus just waiting to re-engage because they might have a quick window with Ninja being out of the mech, but that window is shut, and now a hammer is smashed into it as Sparheart gets rid of any chances of the recontest from Kronos.
Yeah, Spirit Soldier is going to get Nifgoose out of the fight in the end, but is going to be turned around and felled immediately by his counterpart, Can of Soup. And it was a nice plays coming in from the Saga's Genesis team there. They've built up their ultimates. Etienne, actually, I didn't notice this before I was talking about my my tangent about Winston Goats on Sanctum. But Etienne back in this lineup, and he was very strong on the one map they won on Lijiang Tower, even with ping as well.
Yeah, and if his Wi-Fi issues are resolved later here in the series, then this could be a big boon for Saga Genesis, but a big shatter coming through. Again, a 5-man slam, and Sparheart is again the first one to fall. Jackster launching in the self-destruct out the back end, and that gets rid of Etienne as well as Zapdos. The cleanup comes through, and at 67, 68%, maybe even 69, mind me, they do get the flip.
Yeah, they do end up getting the fit. Nice combos coming out from the tank line of Olympus Kronos. However, investing all 3 of your tank ultimates in that will probably bite you in the butt coming up into this next engagement here with ultimates online for Saga Genesis with their own tank ultimates.
We're seeing a lot of good rotations from these two teams. They've definitely practiced their GOATs during the duration of this tournament, and you see the stuns coming through. The self-destruct from Ninja doesn't land on too much, but it's a 4-man slam this time around from Sparheart. The sound barrier coming out after Student's Tears is able to get up, and Sparheart discorded, stunned up, and killed off, but it may just be too little too late as now the D-Mech comes through, and Jackster will probably fall soon after. Miffed Goose again landing a whip shot on this Brigitte, and that is going to be the flip coming through. Saga Genesis looking to build up towards a final fight on our first round of control.
Well, it's good thing they didn't use more ultimates in that lost fight there. Student Tears maybe thought they could turn it around there, even with the loss of Hockey Man. I would have liked to see them save that sound barrier for this next fight here to maybe engage with.
How many 5-man shatters are we gonna see this map? You've got the bomb over the top. Jackster again finding one. This time it's been that D.Va who's getting the big self-destructs in our battle, but still Olympus Kronos have to take the fight to the point, and that's what they're doing. Their tanks are able to finish off the needed players to be sent back to spawn. Saga Genesis will have to settle for capping yet again.
Yeah, and they have the tools to do so. They can initiate with a sound barrier because they're not even close. Timeline just using that grab of the previous fight. And with Etienne and Ninja online with both of their tank ultimate, Sparheart coming up as well. They should be able to recapture this and look well doing it. However, Ninja getting caught out by that Earth Shatter.
Yeah, and the sound barrier is forced out, but Jackster eats the grab. A nice bit of D.Va play again from the D.Va, but now you've got the self-destruct as well as the shatter landing onto 5. The Transcendence comes in response, and Etienne might be able to build up a quicker grab than what Spirit Soldier can put into the mix, but Can of Soup this time, the one getting rid of the Reinhardt. Sparheart has no shield because he did have to block up that self-destruct, but he doesn't need a shield to hammer down Icebox. And now as overtime begins for Olympus Kronos, the Transcendence and the grab come out, one in response to the other. Students Tears keeps this fight rolling for Kronos with that sound barrier, and Timeline is able to get rid of the baby D.Va in the form of Ninja. Can of Soup with yet another kill, and this Zenyatta's been sort of unchecked in this fight as now the rally comes through to keep these supports alive on the point, but they have no shield to hide behind, and that means Timeline on the Zarya, so high charge yet again, is going to be able to burn down the clock here. This the stalls from Zapdos actually coming through nearly up to that sound barrier, but he does get killed off. Hockey Man with the finisher, and Olympus Kronos taking a super close round.
Yeah, a very, very close round, 99 to 100. Now your backs are against the wall if you're Saga Genesis. You need to win these next 2 points to keep your series alive, your hopes and dreams alive to win this GOATS championship. This is where champions are made. I love to say in these finals, when your backs are against your wall, who can step up for Saga Genesis? It can't just be Ninja all the time in these crucial fights. It needs to be someone else needs to step up. Ninja's been on his game this entire series, but we need to see it more from Sparheart. Needs to be able to block those shatters, and keep getting those massive shatters that we've seen so far throughout the series, but needs to be able to mitigate the shatter stuns from Hockey Man.
And as this first fight begins, you have Sparheart getting rid of Icebox, so that's massive here. And the Discord Orb comes through. Hockey Man is going to be felled. And Saga Genesis with a good start on this point. And like we were saying with Olympus and their tank swaps on King's Row, maybe you just want to keep the momentum going from a crew that has already been out there. But I mean, they have lost the past few maps, so maybe putting in Etienne again was the right move. They were off to a bit of a slow start with losing that round, but now they're building up to early ultimates here.
Yeah, they're building up to early ultimates here. Zapdos, the 3 supports for Saga Genesis already almost online with their ultimates, but a big shatter coming out from Sparheart there.
Ouch, that's another 5 on the floor. It seems like 5 on the floor instead of 4 on the floor is the saying here in this series in terms of people, not chairs. But the Transcendence coming out huge from Spirit Soldier. Ever so consistent on this Zenyatta, but they might have wanted to save it. There's hardly any shielding left from Hockey Man. He's able to turn his shield and stop the entire self-destruct from going off. But Etienne in this breakdown is going to get rid of 2. You have him getting rid of a 3rd as well. Jackster unable to do anything on that baby D.Va, just has to walk in and reset. Saga Genesis looking good to get this map tied up.
Yeah, Sparheart almost up to this shatter. We saw what he was doing already with it on this point. But like I said, during the little point before the heroes started fighting, he needs to work on blocking those shatters. Not mitigating shatter stuns is going to be huge in their quest to start a reverse sweep.
And the shatter comes out on one front, but another one from the other side. Sparheart continuing to lay down the hurt here on this Reinhardt, and there's no shielding left anymore. Now this is where the Zaryas can really do damage, and you see Jackster getting demeched, has a mech ready to go and will be using it, but they do die before that animation comes through. Meanwhile, Timeline trying to fire back. You have Icebox actually getting 2 on the Brig, and that may be enough to flip it, but overtime percentage already nearly built up for Saga. All they need to do is save their ultimates in these next few fights, force Olympus to use a few of their own, and then it should be a 1 round for them, but nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah, and they might not even actually have to build up money ultimates here. They've already got 4 in, they've already got 4 in their bag, and Sparheart's probably gonna have this Earth Shatter in the long fight as well. Maybe Can of Soup if he puts in they put in a decent amount of damage. It's really up to if Etienne can get a nice grab here and maybe a nice self-destruct combo. Rally obviously gonna be used to engage here.
Yeah, Jackster looking to eat yet another grab, but it won't come out that time. And Ninja with another self-destruct, sending it in the back with the follow-up to the grab. The Transcendence not going to save anyone from the nuclear explosion that took place in the shrine. And you've got Saga Genesis storming on to the point, just trying to get rid of those last 2 stragglers after Ninja's big play. And you will see some overtime stalls coming through. The Shatter does sort of miss the mark there from Sparheart. And even with the sound barrier, it's pretty much a guarantee that Saga Genesis win this fight with just the pure amount of people they have laying on this point.
Yeah, it still hasn't been flipped over, however, though, but it's getting towards that point in this where the stalls are coming, and they won't be able to stall for much longer as the self-destruct coming out. Not going to get anyone with it, however, and going to be able to kill the baby diva before they get in the mech. The flip coming over and the overtime burning down, and it's going to be the tie up on Nepal going into Sanctum here.
Yeah, Spirit Soldier has definitely been one of the better players in this match so far, but in that particular round, Can of Soup was putting in a lot of work there on the Zenyatta, taking it to their counterpart, who is one of the front runners for that player of the match. And Ninja continuing to do the crazy stuff that he's been doing this entire game with another 3K self-destruct, and that definitely helps them on their path to tying up Nepal. Here's where we could see Winston. I imagine that won't happen. I'm not sure if much practice has been done on a composition like that, so sticking to the Rhine seems like what these teams will do.
I always made it, when I was running a GOATS team, I always made it a priority to run maps that are specified with Winston just in case, just to make sure my team knew how to run said compositions. But I guess specifically when you're in Tier 2, you need to just hone down one composition, and both teams looking like they're just going to stick with the Rhine.
Yeah, it's very tough to get good at 2 so different forms of GOATs. The Winston, just with such a different toolkit. Hockey Man dropped his shield for 1 swing, and his entire health pool disappeared. Very unlucky for the Reinhardt there, as Can of Soup is the one applying the Discord. You've got Etienne surging forward here on the Zarya, the rest of Saga Genesis to follow. They've started off this round very nicely, but in the recontest here, Sparheart is down, and Miffed Goose soon to follow. Great patience from Kronos this time around to back off and allow the Reinhardt to step into their trap.
Yeah, they're getting Saga did get point progress, which is good, but it's going to be flipped over pretty quickly for the favor of Kronos, getting those picks in their favor. They do have ultimates online now with both the Rally and the Graviton Surge. Look for that Rally to probably engage with, as just as I say that, they're going in with Rally.
Yeah. Neither team really too far behind in ultimates, and we see another Grav Bomb combo. Ninja able to find one as Miffed Goose also picks off Timeline, who did have that grab. It's a crucial shot from the Brigitte, well, Flail, more like it, and there was a big shatter coming through, I believe, from Hockey Man in that fight, but no follow-up as the kills had already been gained for Saga Genesis. They already had that player advantage. They will get rid of the Lucio on the objective and flip it right back.
Yeah, just as quickly as they got it, it's flipped quickly right back for the side of Saga Genesis, up to 30 or 40% now on the board. Sparrow probably looking for a big shatter in this next gate. Jackster, however, very low on this Diva. Gonna use that self-destruct. Not gonna get any value though.
Yeah, and I think the break shield actually blocked the self-destruct from hitting more than one player in the grab. But speaking of grabs, Etienne throws another one into the Matrix, and that could be bad for his squad as they look to retain control. Hockeyman trading out with Sparheart, and with the Rhine in the mix for Olympus Kronos, you know that Saga has to back away. They've got a few players stuck in the corner here. It's a nice bubble there from Etienne to allow Miftgoose to continue going in this fight. Zapdos just riding around the sides, trying to buy enough time for the team to get back, but Hockeyman lays down the shatter onto 3. Zapdos actually does find that boop onto Timeline, who's still holding that grab, and this just means that Saga can count up in the percentage. They now have the rally. They're coming close to a self-destruct and a grab. Joker, this could go bad for Kronos in overtime.
Yeah, as oh, I thought that was a shatter coming out from Hockeyman. Now he has the shatter online. It's going to only get one, however, thanks to that Zarya bubble of Etienne. And there goes the self-destruct out from Ninja. Going to get 2, and it's going to be Sparheart falling, however, but I think it's too little too late. As the self-destruct coming into the point. Gonna get can of soup, but it's definitely too little too late. No one's going to be able to touch as the Gong of Death is sound, and Saga Genesis going to take map 5. And they're gonna go to 2-3 in the series.
Yeah, and just when we thought Kronos had all of the cards on the table, everything on their side in terms of winning the last control map, in terms of winning the last few maps before that, Saga Genesis was able to flip it around, and you can see maybe a bit of coaching played a role in there. Maybe it was Etienne going back in, even if it wasn't a breakout performance from the Zarya. That I believe they did get 2 grabs eaten in that map from Jackster, who actually put on a crazy show there on the Diva on the Village. But maybe just getting a new player in the game was something that reset the mentals for Saga and got them back in it. Who knows? But either way, they're back in the series, but they have to continue getting back in the series on map 6, which is going to be Eichenwald.
Yeah, and like you were saying about Etienne coming back to that the series for Saga Genesis, you'd think, specifically since he was a starter coming into the series, you'd think that they're more well practiced with him, feel more confident with him in the lineup. So not having him for those first 4 or the 3 maps in between that he was not in. Getting that one map that they did is huge, and now they have those chances. Him coming back into this game, winning that map, and now they're going into Eichenwald, like you just said, into a traditional, another traditional Goats map. And after how well Saga was playing on the King's Row, we could see another performance like that.
I think Eichenwald is a very interesting map. It's very different from King's Row in the fact that B is just so high ground favored. Point A also lends itself to a very patient play, and that's sort of similar to King's Row. I think Saga Genesis has the potential to do very well on Point A defense, and I think their patient play and rotations can also give them the edge on Point B. But if Kronos is able to take it to Point C, if they're able to defend there or attack it all the way to that point, I think then maybe they have the advantage inside the castle. But as long as Saga Genesis can lock things up early in the stage, I think that's where their compositions really work.
Hey, NSB, you know what bodes well on map or Point 2 of Eichenwald?
Winston?
Yeah.
Possibly
Winston. Pause champ, maybe.
I'm gonna give very low odds on that.
I know. Maybe a
very
Winston.
Low.
You know, one of these days, NSB, I'll get what I want, and someone will run Winston. One of these days.
I mean, for future finalists.
No, just gonna delete Ryan next Goats tournament. We're just gonna have to run Winston Goats the entire time. As we see here, no swaps coming in for either sides right now. This is their the stable lineup that they want to run with, and we now see them walking forward. Sparheart's shield almost down to nothing now.
Yeah, I mean, Joker, as we are sort of joking around on the casting booth, Olympus Kronos is very serious in burning down Sparhart's shield, but it's actually Hockey Man who falls first. They were very close to that shatter. They were getting a lot of damage done, but they just stepped too far, kept that shield down for a bit too long, and that's going to allow a very quick point progress here for Saga Genesis. They've got point A locked up in under a minute. That bodes well. I think the key to winning point B out here in quick fashion is if they can rotate to the high ground.
Yeah, with the main point of Winston is to keep control of that high ground, but they're clearly not swapping to it. They need to rotate, take that high ground away from Olympus Kronos, because if the defense has that high ground advantage, they can just drop down to wherever you are at that time. And but that's a six-man shatter coming out from Hockey Man, and that's gonna stop the cart right there at the doorway.
We had a great camera angle on that one. I saw it a mile away. None of Saga Genesis saw that coming. Hockey Man, again, using the shield peak tech to jump around that corner exactly at the right time. And that's going to be an easy fight win and an easy fight win for ult economy as well.
Yeah, a big fight for ult economy. However, look at Saga Genesis.
Ults.
6 ults on the board. They can initiate with a sound barrier here, which would probably be beneficial since they don't have rally to invest. And Jackster again coming back, eating that grab. But Jackster with 2 with a D.Va self-destruct. Oh my goodness, and is united.
And when most players would falter and get fatigued, Jackster steps up in the 6th map of the series, still keeping things going, even improving on the D.Va. And when Saga Genesis had all of the resources at their disposal, they still have a 4-minute time bank. They used 3 of their 6 ults that they had in that fight. It's just a singular play from the D.Va that changes everything. But now they need to keep that play going through as there's another fight down in the pit. Sparhart ready to go with the shatter. The stun came through momentarily onto the Reinhardt of Hockey Man, who's coming up to a shatter of his own, but another 6-man. 6 people laying down on the floor, this time from Sparhart. You're only going to get 1 if you are the attacking team, though. But as Hockey Man tries to pin in to take the attention away from the rest of his team, Etienne will see free pickings, and it will send Saga Genesis over the bridge, still with a blistering pace.
It's really unfortunate. They probably would have been able to get more picks. However, Etienne was so low charged there after coming back from spawn. Which you hate to see. You can't really do much with only 11 charge on your weapon there. But
No.
here comes another shatter, and they're gonna get
It's 4.
3 or 4 down. This, oh my goodness.
I mean, these Reinhardt players must have a mutual agreement that none of them can block a shatter, because another shatter coming from Hockey Man. How many seconds was that farming up to another one? Absolutely insane play from the main tank here on the defense, and they hold on again, but it's still 2 minutes 30 in the clock. It's not terrible for Saga Genesis. They've got another round of ultimates for this next fight, so not all is lost, even if you find yourselves on the wrong side of the highlight reel.
Yo, there's no there. How that?
Wow.
That's ridiculous. That was ridiculous. that had to be like 5 seconds there, NSB. He shatters the start of the fight, then goes in, gets a ton of damage done, and then gets another shatter, and just again with another an E.
This is absolutely crazy. These tank lines just absolutely popping off every single moment of the match, and Ninja with a 3. Oh my goodness, it started out so well for Jackster, but Ninja this time, the D.Va to 1-up the other, and while he adds his grab eat count to 4, it's going to be Ninja adding to the tally of self-destruct kills here. You see 1 from Jackster on the recontest, and that's exactly what the defense needs, because they have these quicker respawns. They also have the rally to keep things going, and they almost have 6 people back in the fight. Somehow, some way, they're going to win this one with only 0.4 meters left after Ninja got the 3K self-destruct.
Yeah. They killed what our producer just said. Saga killed 5 in that fight. Still
that should be unwinnable.
still somehow lost that fight. And that's just amazing resolve coming in from the Olympus Kronos team.
We better see another big play. It's going to be a big shatter. Lands onto 4. It's pretty normal at this point, I'd have to say, in this series. So now I'm looking at meter of Hockey Man. Once he gets this sound barrier, he's going to be able to swing away and probably build up to another shatter. It's 50% with just one swing of the hammer. That's how crazy this workshop code is. That's how crazy Old Goats was, and we're coming back to it. But Jackster, again, with the subtle self-destruct on the back edge, able to claim 1 kill, and that's all you need. And if Saga Genesis are unable to cap point B, that would just be tragic for them.
Especially after a 5-man fight win, should have been a 5-man kill fight win, and not being able to capture this, they're gonna have this one last fight. They're all together.
5 minutes.
They had so much time at his feet. It's all down to this last fight. That's a big shatter coming in from Hockey Man. It's hot as far as down.
Yeah, the perfect pick is on the Sparheart, and no one is able to wrap all the way around the bridge to touch on the objective. Etienne and Mythgoose were sprinting there. Even with the rally, they were unable to make it in time. And 1 point is all that is gained. But like I was saying before, all is not lost for Saga Genesis. They have good chances to play the high ground on defense.
Yeah, the high ground. No one's really opting for this high ground hold, and
just brawling in the pits.
It's so odd. Because if you ever go back, I talked about this before, at least it was yesterday probably, during the Tier 4 EU GOATS tournament matchup. If you go back and watch, all the top Zarya players from the league last year, or 2 years ago now, would always take high ground, always get those angles. And we're not seeing that from either Zarya, really. And like I'll say Somin Su, because he was probably the second best Zarya, and I'm not talking about the other one, because you know, with things he did. But if you go back to watch how he plays Temple of Anubis specifically, he'll use those the right clicks or right clicks, I think is what it is, and on the mouse and keyboard, but use jump up to high grounds that you normally couldn't get to as Zarya, take those bright angles from down high, and he'll just burn down enemies. And it's a really great way to play Zarya, and it's really interesting to see that no one's utilizing that tactic.
Yeah, if you take a leaf out of a pro player's book, you're probably doing something right. And Sparheart is 60 to shatter already. He only got about 2 swings. He does get one into the bubble, so that's going to give a lot of charge the way of the attack. If they play this patiently enough, they should be able to build up those ultimates just a bit quicker. But Hockey Man discorded up, having to retreat. The shield blow yet again. And now Saga Genesis, with their patient play, can surge forward. They're nearly ready with this sound barrier. Timeline's close to the grab, while Can of Soup is a bit behind on the Transcendence, so they have to hit the go button now here for the attack. They do so with the sound barrier. They land the shatter onto 2, but the grab comes out from the other side. Etienne getting into the mix here, and DDG Ninja drops in the self-destruct. Finally, someone's able to get a shield in front of it. Hockey Man able to block that one up, and now goes on the offensive as the grab comes in from Timeline. They now have the rally, but so does Miffed Goose, who continues this fight rolling for the defensive side. And once Sparheart gets back, it could be a massive slam coming through. They need to end this right here, right now, and the shatter comes through. That's absolutely gigantic on a Can of Soup. But just as I say that, Sparheart gets back from the respawn, lands the shatter onto 4, and now 2 picks go back the other way. And as this Transcendence is committed and the self-destruct, I'm thinking they might want those back for the attack.
Definitely with the respawns coming in. Oh, Etienne falling, however, to Timeline there. Timeline's going to be felled as well, though. And and now we now see Kronos backing up, not having that main source of damage coming in from the Zarya. You can't really push anymore. But they might have this time frame without Etienne in the fight, unless he has been sped back. I don't Yeah, she's already back, so that's good for the side of Saga Genesis. You can't.
Oh no. Jackster just putting up the defense, thinking that he has the opportunity to launch it down the choke, but that's an easy eat if I've ever seen one. Ninja forced to use the destruct now because they don't have that graviton surge combo, but somehow they continue this rolling. And I think a large factor in this fight of Sparheart just dominating was that Olympus overcommitted in time and ultimates during the last one. They only have 1 minute now, and they still don't have ultimates because their rotation was just destroyed at the start.
Oh my goodness, Etienne's grabs have sometimes caused me physical pain.
That's 5 eats.
Yeah, you need to throw it at the ground now. But they're going to this. Sparheart's going to look for this massive shatters. Shatters have been hitting it throughout the series. The self-destruct coming out from Jackster going to be blocked up, however.
Yeah, the Transcendence comes out, and their shatters from both sides, both landing 3 onto the ground. Miffed Goose, unfortunately, falling there on the Brigitte, but you probably take that trade over the Zarya because now that high charge of timeline is completely out of the mix. DVG Ninja all the way in the back line, as it looks like Olympus Kronos sort of forgot about the Diva momentarily and surged forward, but they're going to claim the kills on the back line. They get rid of Etienne and Zapdos, who was very close to the sound barrier. A crucial kill there onto the Lucio seals everything up here for the attack, and they don't have such a hefty time bank to work it through point B. I think Saga Genesis can still call this winnable.
Yeah, I have a question for you, NSP. How did Hockey Man live there? You saw it, right?
He was in a place.
He pinned into the small room right there. The entire team of Saga Genesis goes after him and he doesn't die.
But now Olympus Kronos taking the initiative on the attack here. They get 2 early kills, one from the self-destructive Jackster. Sparheart trying to pin in and make a crazy play happen, but he's not quite close enough towards that shatter, and either way, the fight was probably lost at that point. Ultimate's pretty even. What do you think could be the difference maker to maybe give Olympus Kronos another fight win under the bridge, or Saga Genesis a nice holding position?
Oh, well, obviously, I think we're seeing it. Someone's actually taking the advantage of the high ground right now, and it's the first time for everything. Albeit the 6 minutes. All 3 support ultimates coming in from Saga. I don't know about that one right there, Chief.
Yeah, huge commitment to keep things going, and Etienne found himself way out of position, all the way behind the bridge and over on the side. He's going to be easily picked off, and Miffed Goose without that rally armor, it just expired, and he's going to be picked off as now the slam comes through from Hockey Man. They've still got the rally for the attack, and they also have the Transcendence and Bomb, but there's still one final fight. It has to be massive from Ninja and Sparheart if they want to keep this map going. And the series.
Yeah, definitely. And I liked how quickly everyone died after that fight was unwinnable for the side of that's huge! Zapdos with 2!
I was talking about how one of these tanks needed to make a big play, but I completely didn't expect the Lucios to come out on the bridge and do something crazy like that. That's also going to give Zapdos a lot of charge on the sound barrier. He used it in the middle of that last fight where they overcommitted supportals, but now they're going to have a quicker sound barrier here. He's going to be able to build up to this next one in this next fight, and this next fight is going to come up quickly because we're already 15 seconds left on the clock.
Big thing too, Icebox just used that rally as well, getting no value from it thanks to Zapdos.
Oh no!
Coming from Ninja, and I think that's gonna do it here. It means they're gonna tie up this series, and it's going to a match 7.
Saga Genesis have been in this place before. They've been in the last GOATS finals, and they know how team, despite whatever advantages they may have. Kronos from 3-1 ahead, very comfortably sitting in their seats wherever they may be playing online, to a 3-3 series with Saga Genesis having all the momentum, having all the crazy plays from Ninja on the self-destructs and the shatters, whatever you may add. Zapdos as well with that huge clutch boop. I think without that boop, you would have had to expend the shatter and the bomb. With it, you get to keep those ults for the overtime fight, in which you probably wouldn't have built them up. And it could have been a completely different result. I think that was so clutch in not only that fight, but the entirety of that rest of the map.
Yeah, and I said it last map. The clutch moments, these are where champions are born. Zapdos showing up in the 11th hour for their squad there, and showing out and showing they're not ready to lose this. And they are primed and ready to win this finals now. All the momentum's in Saga's favor. All the chips are falling in their places. If anything's, they should win this map out.
Yeah, they do have a moment to keep their composure, to settle things down before they head into this next map. Olympus Kronos has that same opportunity for maybe their coach to get in an extra word. I believe it will be Escort up next as our next map, or never mind, it will be Hanamura. Havana.
We already played.
So it will be Escort, yes. My map pool remembrance does not fail me. Havana up next is very interesting. I think you can spawn hold. That could be very possible. Objective B, most likely the best for GOATs. We will probably see a lot of Objective B on the board, but I think whichever team can put up a spawn hold could definitely win out this next map.
Yeah, and spawn holds are really big on Havana. Correct me, did we see Havana during the GOATS era? Because I don't really remember when it came into play.
I mean, there wasn't too much Havana, but it was played. I think there was a lot of the normal GOATs, just the Reinhardt. We did see a lot of spawn holds. I think that's where the Havana spawn hold began in that GOATS era. It's an interesting map for GOATs, especially on that third point, because in 2-2-2 you see all of those snipers, but I think teams can make it possible on those first two objectives.
The second objective is going to be the most difficult part of this entire map, specifically because of how small which way is. You need to control that high ground. We keep saying you need to control that high ground if you're this defending team. Take those off angles if you're that Zarya on that the little bridge there. And whoever, if they can get this, I don't know. If whoever can control that high ground will be able to win that map, I feel.
Yeah, and as we jump straight in, we won't waste your time any. We're going to get this final map underway. It is a guarantee that we will finally have the last map of our 7-map series. Can Saga Genesis pull off the comeback? Or can Olympus Kronos put things under control? We'll have to see. I imagine Saga Genesis go for the spawn hold. That has to be what they do. It looks like they are going to go for that, in fact. And this is where, like you said, champions are made. And as this map starts out, all of the momentum could shift in either way, depending on how this first fight plays out.
Yeah, they need to get specific picks, and if they don't, they need to die together. That's the big thing with GOATs, spawn holds, and spawn holds in general, and Ninja getting DMAC, they need to die now.
Nifty Goose with a great stun onto Hockey Man, but there was zero follow-up and to Sparheart, and without that defense matrix to save everyone from all this incoming damage, especially from Spirit Soldier on the Zenyatta, they're just going to be picked apart. They're going to be swatted down like flies. And as they do trade things out, as Saga Genesis gets a kill here and there while they're losing these players, it just further shifts into Olympus Kronos' favor. And Nift Goose continuing to do crazy things on the Brig. Etienne beams down timeline from the back. It's all about stalling now. They can die separate, but that might not give them a good chance to hold at the corner, as now the Shatter finally closed things out. Hockeyman with the double will finally get this cart moving after a whole minute of stalling point from Saga.
Yeah, which is good. And getting a decent time off the clock. Now everyone has to go back to regroup. They'll be able to at least get a second fight here before the doors. Maybe even at this corner here, which is another nice place to hold on Havana. And right now we're coming up to both team's grabs for both of these Aryas.
At the start of this fight, there were 11 ult on the board. We'll see where we end out after this roller coaster ride of a battle. You already saw
Big ground.
and the self-destructs. You've got Hockey Man coming up to this shatter, but it doesn't look like he'll need to use it. He actually completely whiffs it on the backside. Sorry, I had to call that out, man. But Timeline is the one who's making this fight count, beaming down 2 people, almost got the 3rd. But however way it rolls out, you've got Olympus Kronos moving the cart. They still have 2 minutes. This is a good objective A for them.
Yeah, it's a good objective A. Yeah, they're gonna be able to get a read, and nope, Sparhart's just gonna die immediately, and there's no way they're gonna be able to hold it right there at the doors. With that kill onto Sparhart. Now, if they use an ultimate in this, oh, I was about to freak out on Olympus Kronos if they use an ultimate there. That would have been.
Hockey Man got a lot of stuff done there.
Yeah, that would have probably been the biggest waste of an ultimate we've seen all series if they used an ultimate right there. But now they're trying to push up, trying to get some kills on or some ultimate charge, but no real progress has been made yet, right?
And something I completely didn't notice, we actually had a swap of the Divas
at
the start of this map. Twinkie is in yet again for Olympus Kronos. The Diva player we saw earlier in the series has come back, and after the performance from Jackster, I'm not sure whether they had to make that sub because Jackster had to go. Oh, but it's a big slam coming through. The Transcendence from Spirit. Ninja dropping in the self-destruct on the cart. That's just going to land into a shield. You've got the sound barrier now from both teams to keep this tempo in the fight rolling. And Sparhart, I don't think they did get that sound barrier, as now the bomb comes through around the backside. The shield is gone. The Discord Orb is applied, and Sparhart will go down. Spirit Soldier continuing to do crazy things on this Zenyatta, able to focus down with those Discords. Etienne is on the backside and needs to be taken care of because he is very high charge. You have Hockey Man laying down the Shatter. I believe that stunned out a few people. You've got the grab as well, but it may be a late commitment as the fight already looked won for the attacking side.
Yeah, like you said, that was definitely probably already won for them. You could have saved that for your next engagement, really, and
this is still being stalled.
Yeah, it's still being stalled, and being stalled by the Lucio, which is very good. It'll be able to get back quicker than anyone else, really. Not being able to really be staggered out like a Diva would be. And Sparhart needs to hit a massive shatter here coming up into this next fight.
He's already being pressured out, though. He can't even walk out from the choke point, and it's the other side. But Sparhart returns the favor there with I believe, 2-man, but the grab comes through. There's no shield now to stop this self-destruct, and Twinkie gets 2 there on the Diva as well as the D-Mech. It's going to be easy for them to close out the rest of this fight. They get the team kill, and they get Objective Charlie unlocked here with 3 minutes. This is looking good for Kronos.
Yeah, but this is another point where all escort maps get more and more in favor of the defending squad as further along you get. And that's why you see a lot of non-completed maps. And right now, this is specifically where they should start their hold, and Hockey Man's not going to have anything to do with it. They're just going to have a massive shatter.
I think Sparhart has to realize that is what Hockey Man is always going for at this point. That was another one of those shatters where Hockey Man scouted out around the corner using the shield third-person angle and then just jumped around that side and shattered. I think if you're Sparhart, you have to realize that that's going to happen during the beginning of these fights.
Yeah, no, you need to start. You need to block these shatters, man. I said it on 5. You need to do it. It's really hurting your team in the long run. Yeah. Here comes the shatter. Ooh, it's a little too late from Sparrow. That was almost a massive combo coming in from the tank line.
Yeah, it was a very good idea, and I don't really like that pin trade from Hockey Man. He already had the shatters ult charge to be gained there from taking the Brig off the map. And now Kronos doesn't really have a pillar to play around. These pillars on the actual map won't even be used to their advantage because they're being pushed back all the way. But Sparheart goes down this time around, and somehow without the Reinhardt, they stave off this defensive play. They land the 4-man shatter without that Reinhardt to be seen from the defense that time around. And they're looking good to roll this in.
Yeah, Zapdos and Etienne having these ultimates online, if they can re-engage if they can get there together, then they are gonna get there together. That's huge, as the grab is gonna come out as well from Etienne there.
Yeah, Etienne not getting his grab eaten that time around. You're gonna have time one as well, and it's going to be a massive grab with no Transcendence to answer. Can of Soup was about 95% up to that one when the grab went off, and they just didn't have the chance to get a couple kills. Ninja somehow gets 2 there. Somehow, 2 players from Kronos didn't get behind the shield, but however that happened, they will be fine with putting 3 points up on the board, and I believe they did have a bit of time remaining. That is a good precedent to set in our final map.
Yeah, with that, the momentum and all of Saga Genesis favor there going into this map, getting all 3 points on the board and with some time on as well, there's got to be a major confidence boost for Olympus Kronos here. You need to have this defense be better than it has been before. You can't let them capture at all. Well, you can't let them capture the 3rd point, because if it goes to overtime, who knows what's going to happen. We've seen a bit more ridiculous things happen in overtime, or at least I have, when everything's out of the window.
And it looks like Etienne, this time, the one to be playing around its spawn, definitely will not come out here on Havana. Havana is an interesting map, but it cannot get interesting in the form of the Winston. And this map has gone, this series even, has gone from super winnable for Saga Genesis to super losable. They have to put up a monster of an attack here, and they have to get rid of the spawn hold first.
Yeah, and the nice high ground spawn hold coming in. Oh, no, he's going to be just pressured off high ground and may delete by the Diva of Ninja. They just need to pick onto Hockey Man. They win this very easily, but that's a D-Mech onto Twinkie there.
They get rid of the mech, and that's a good start, but Hockey Man goes. Bubble is there at the right time to let him out after landing that pin, and the shatter comes through. It is blocked this time around. Nevertheless, Olympus Kronos will continue the spawn hold. They get Twinkie back in the mech. So this next fight is gonna be just about the same thing, but with more ultimates for the defense.
Yeah, and no one has fallen for that defensive side after Twinkie's mech got demeched. That's huge. You don't losing a player in a spawn hold is very bad.
Yeah, and Etienne kind of far behind the grab. You saw was able to put in the Transcendence. However, they've used both of their defensive. Still is holding this grab. It goes in onto a couple supports, and now the follow-through comes through. You've got a bomb in the backside from Twinkie, and unfortunately, Can of Soup finds themselves on the wrong side of the car. But nevertheless, they will continue to get these kills in this fight, and they will finally get this cart moving after 1.5 minutes. Not an amazing start for Saga.
Not an amazing start indeed, and you had to use that grab there to win it as well as the rally. And you're still 20 behind timeline in that second grab. Building it up quickly with these bomb shots onto the opposing side, though.
And now you have the rally coming out from Icebox, that you mentioned, getting saved. And the bomb shatter. Absolutely massive, absolutely perfectly timed. Hockey Man couldn't do anything about it. He tried to block the shatter and the bomb at the same time, but ended up not getting either blocked. And that is a good way to keep point A rolling.
Yeah, a nice play like that. Nice plays like that. Nice, ooh, and a big pick on the timeline already. Sparhart maybe a little over-investing there to get, but it's still looking like the side of Saga Genesis should win this out, especially with the grab being used there in the end. Good time bank, all considering that big spawn hold coming in from Olympus Kronos.
Yeah, it wasn't
another
terrible
big stagger on the timeline. Oh no!
timeline. Not having a fun time there on the Zarya, nearly getting lapped by Etienne in this next grab charge, but still almost 90% to that ultimate. And I think the play from Sparhart there, trying to go after Spirit Soldier on the Zen, wasn't too terrible because Spirit Soldier had to walk all the way up around the staircase and didn't get to the point with the Transcendence to save their own Reinhardt, even if Sparhart fell. But both these Reinhardts will have a Shadow. You see the bomb at the top, and Shadow just a second too late, and a massive bubble to keep Can of Soup alive as now the grab comes in and the Transcendence in response. A beautiful play from Etienne to give that projected barrier out at the right time and stop the pin, but Hockey Man nearly up to another shatter. He might just lay this down, and 5 on the ground. Absolutely massive again from the main tank aficionado, but the kills continue to roll through for the offense, and the momentum continues to be in their favor as they're nearly done with point B.
Yeah, it was a good shatter. However, I would have, knowing where you're at as an ex-main tank player, you want to hit a couple. Yeah, as you want to get a big shatter to maybe turn the tide, but maybe saving it there and being able to re-engage with it this coming fight would have been a lot better than trying to make a huge play. Ooh, this might be a massive bomb coming in for. Oh wow, that was almost huge coming in from Ninja there.
Yeah, it's a good idea to lock them up on the corner with that grab and then launch the self-destruct around the... Was aware of those tricks, and he, guess what he has? He has an Earth Shatter coming up soon. If he can just get out of this stun lock that is the support line of Saga Genesis pushing forward. They lay in the sound barrier, but it's not going to be enough to save them from the self-destruct, and now it's just their 2 supports trying to get out. One of those supports, Zapdos, is going to, with the movement abilities of the Lucio, but in the end, it's a tough loss for them in that fight.
Yeah, a tough loss indeed. A minute 25 on the clock. A minute 25 remaining in your series and your championship hopes and dreams. And they don't really have anything really to engage this with. Myth Goose now just getting up to this rally, which is going to be good to engage with. Sound barrier can be responded in kind, but that's a huge shatter coming in from Hockey Man.
And Etienne, while able to get up from that shatter, will not have much health left to their name and will die to Graviton Bomb. Their timeline, speaking of Gravitons, has a surge, while Etienne does as well. A back cap nearly coming through there. I believe it was Ninja who stepped onto the cart, but the Zenyatta of Spirit Soldier was there. He does have a Transcendence for this next fight. It has to be a win for Saga or their series will be over.
Yeah, they need to win this fight. They have ultimates to do so, and maybe if they can bait out this Transcendence from Spirit Soldier, this would be huge. But no, they're just gonna use the grab and the self-destruct, and they're gonna get Student Tears with it.
Yeah, Student Tears locked up on the wrong side of that grab from... Perfectly timed, and the self-destruct comes through the pin as well. So many stuns keep Sparhart from holding up that shield, and that's the perfect bomb to close out this series in style here for Olympus Kronos. Hockey Man going crazy here on Objective B with 4 shatters and 4 fights, and DBG Ninja is going to be the only one left on this cart to keep things going, but they won't continue for long. Sparhart almost there with a shatter, but he will not reach the point in time, and Olympus Kronos shuts down the comeback, and they are your Tier 2 champions.
Yeah, incredible plays coming out from the main tank Hockey Man after a shaky first map on King's Row, turning it around, coming back, hitting so many shatters. So many. And that was the downfall, I feel like, for Saga Genesis, allowing those massive shatters from Hockey Man throughout the series. You can't be doing that. I know it's hard to block everything, but you need to block at least 50%. And we weren't seeing that. Maybe 10% of shatters were being blocked by either side, really. But but in the end, Olympus Kronos were able to get more value out of those massive shatters that Hockey Man was hitting.
Yeah, you saw the crazy performance from the Reinhardt there at the end of Objective B. I think all of the divas that came out in this entire series popped off, whether it was Jackster on the diva midway through the series for Olympus Kronos, whether it was Twinkie there at the start and the end, putting in some clutch double kill self-destructs. There was nearly one every time they got that self-destruct, but in the end, it all boils down to a great match, a 7-map banger of a series where Saga Genesis nearly put up that comeback victory. They were just inches away from winning and a 3-4 scoreline is pretty close, but when the maps are this close themselves, you just have to give it to every one of these players for putting on a show.
Yeah, and all the players on this put on a show, and it's going to be really difficult for us to pick these MVPs of the match coming up here. I think it boils down to I had one lock, obviously, if Saga won this. It was going to be Ninja for me if Saga had won it out, but it's between two people for me right now. It's either Spirit Soldier or Hockey Man. What are you thinking here, SB?
I think I would go with either one of those players. Spirit Soldier was very good for the MVP, though. I'd have board to Hockey Man. Just the Reinhardt play was fantastic. I thought it was insane how he continued to get value out of those corner slams throughout the entirety of the series. We saw one 7. That's 7 maps to get a hold of that play, and somehow Hockey Man still made it work, landing an insane number of slams, able to actually block a few of those bombs, but Ninja also doing very well on that front. I think in the end, the consistency of Hockey Man overall, landing crazy shatters in every moment, gives him the MVP, as I think I sort of saw Spirit Soldier fading away a bit at the end. I'd love to shout out a Brig player for once in my entire lifetime. Here, you saw Miffed Goose from Saga going crazy on the Brigida. Actually, a Brig player I would like to highlight. Just a quick shout out to them. A quick shout out to everyone, basically, on Saga and onto the winning side of Kronos. But, I mean, what a treat of a series that we just got to cast. Who would be your final pick between those two, or maybe another player?
Yeah, I'll match you with Hockey Man. Just the shatters were impressive. You can't be he got away with it all series long. He's doing the same thing. He still gets value out of it. It's impressive to see. It's impressive as a tank player myself. And true, the Gravites were impeccable as well, coming from Jackster. But yeah, I feel like Hockey Man didn't play the entire series either. But I'm gonna say Hockey Man still gets the MVP for me as well.
Yeah, I think if Jackster had been in for one more match, given him my MVP, but just he was subbed out at the beginning and the end, I would probably hand it over to Hockey Man under his belt in the series. But I think even with the amount of maps Jackster played, he would maybe come in second over Spirit Soldier for me. But I mean, we can talk about MVPs for days. In the EU series we had last night, we wanted to analyze so much, and with this one, there's even more to talk about. We had an even greater series, if that's even imaginable here. But again, what a game. Thank you all for sticking through this one in the chat. And Joker, any plugs you'd like to make for CGL or yourself? Anything else we'd like to say before we close it out? I know it's been a long night for a lot of people out there in chat, especially the EU players who stayed up to watch this one. So any final words?
No. Just make sure to sign up for the multi-tier tournament 9 when it is announced. Make sure to place all your roles.
Do that.
Make sure to place all your roles for multi-tier tournament 9. Makes things easier for yourself and everyone else involved. And make sure to watch the Watch podcast every week when we do it. It's either on Wednesdays or Thursdays on twitch.tv/jokersransom.
Yeah, you can catch those at around 9 o'clock, I believe. Every time they're on, you want to check them out. Overwatch League content coming at you from a lot of the popular CGL casters and producers, anyone who's behind it. You've got Tier 5 coming at you tomorrow, I believe, on this video. You're going to have a great match between the Wonder Pets and 88's Tier 5. And then as we look forward into the weekend, we have a ton of broadcasts coming up, even over into Monday and Tuesday of next week. So if you guys aren't already followed to this channel right here, you can definitely follow and make sure to hit the bell as well so you're notified. Join the Discord if you haven't already. A lot of you are in there. So make sure to pick up the stream ping role if you're in there already to get notified for more broadcasts like this, because this was definitely an intense match between two crazy teams. But again, thank you all for tuning in and have a wonderful day.